Samsung Galaxy Note 8 comes with several features, and that means you have got a lot of options to customize the phone and make it your own. So let's look at some of the top tips and tricks for the Galaxy Note 8. There are several ways to check for notifications. You can always swipe down from the top to reveal the notification panel, or if you just want to be quick, you can swipe down on your home screen to check your notification panel. To set this setting, long press the home screen and tap on the home screen settings, and there you will have the option to quick open the notification panel from your home screen. You can set up the fingerprint sensor gesture to swipe down on the fingerprint sensor to reveal the notification panel. To set this up, go to your settings, advanced features, and there you have the fingerprint sensor gestures that you can turn on and off. You can also use Bixby to show your recent notifications. Show my recent notifications. Every time you use your volume control key, that will default to changing the ringtone volume. What if you wanted to change the media, that is the sound that is coming out of your phone instead of the ringtone? Well, you can do that by just expanding the volume control panel and selecting the use volume keys for media, and that now will control the media volume instead of the ringtone volume by default. You can also use Bixby to set up the default volume settings to control media. Open settings and change the default volume key setting to control media.
Okay, I set the default volume key for media.
Sometimes you might have a lot of notification icons in your status bar. You can change that to only show the recent 3 notifications instead of, say for example here 4. So you can do that by going into settings, display, and scrolling down to go to the status bar, and there you have show recent notifications only, and that will now basically only show 3 and followed by a ... if you have more notifications. And you can also use Bixby to do the same. Show recent notifications only in the status bar.
Okay, it's on.
Galaxy Note 8 is a very tall phone. I mean, sometimes you can't reach the top. So using the one-handed mode, you can easily now shrink the screen so that it's usable. So for example, here I can tap my home button 3 times to activate the one-handed mode. And now I can basically tap the top of the screen without any difficulties. And to come out of this, all I have to do is just tap outside, and that will go back to its original form. To set this up, you have to go to the settings, advanced features, and you have the one-handed mode, and you can activate it through a gesture or a button. I like the button, that is much easier to do rather than the gesture. Here is a cool tip if you want to quickly call or SMS someone when you're in the contacts app or the dialer itself. So all you have to do is just swipe right to call and then swipe right to message. It's that simple. To set this up, go to settings, advanced features, and at the bottom you will find swipe to call or send messages. So you can turn that on and off to get this capability. And you can also use Bixby to turn on and off the setting as well. Open settings and turn on swipe to call or message.
Okay, I've turned it on.
You can always open Google Maps and search for nearby places, but you can also do that a different way. Tap on the phone app and go to the settings, and there you will find an option search for places nearby. If you enable this, you will get the option that you will see places at the top bar, and once you click that, you will find all of the nearby places, basically get all the information through the help and call and verify if you wanted to, or message and just get the details otherwise. You can set a time interval to notify you of unread messages from certain apps. So for example, if you receive a message, you can tell Note 8 to remind you every minute until you read that message. To set that up, go to your settings, and under accessibility you have the notification reminder. If you turn that on, you can set for whatever apps you want. For example, here I have set for messages, and at the top I have configured the reminder interval to be a minute. So every minute it will remind me that I have an unread message until I read that message. And you can also use Bixby to do the same. Open settings and set reminder interval to 1 minute for notification reminder.
Turns out it's it's already set to that.
Well, great. So Bixby understands if it's already set to that, it will remind you the same, or it will just turn it on if it's not set already. Using Bixby sometimes can be very painful because the Bixby volume is always on and it might even be set to full volume by default. So if you want to control that, if you tap your volume keys and expand the volume panel, you have the Bixby voice, and there you can control the setting for the Bixby voice volume level. Now you can also tell Bixby to do the same. Turn the Bixby voice volume down to 20%. There you go. So that's how you can use Bixby to control the Bixby voice volume. Did you know you have a sound equalizer in your Note 8? If you go to your settings and then tap on sound and vibration, scroll down to the bottom to find the sound quality and effects. There you can turn on the equalizer and basically choose your sound mode, and also you can customize the individual equalizer controls here. And if you actually plug in your headphones, you'll actually get more options here. You can also tell Note 8 to find the best sound for you by going into this adapt sound and creating a profile where it can now scan the surrounding areas for the noise levels and create a profile that works best for you. Note 8 comes with an awesome screen. You can control the screen display mode by going into the settings, display, and you have the screen mode where you can change from the AMOLED cinema to photo to basic to adaptive display. By default, I think it comes with an adaptive display, but you can choose which one you want. And you can also use Bixby to set the display mode. Open settings and set the screen mode to basic.
Okay, I've set it to basic.
Using the Android Smart Lock, you can basically keep your Note 8 unlocked at various locations, preferably your home. So to do that, go to your settings, tap on lock screen and security, and then tap on Smart Lock, input your PIN, and that will take you to the Smart Lock settings, where you can now use the trusted places to configure your home and say to be unlocked all the time when you're nearby your home. You have a home button in your Galaxy Note 8. You can put to good use by making it so that if you hard press the home button, it actually unlocks your phone. Now this is pretty easy if you have iris scanner set up, or you have the smart lock set up so that it actually unlocks on certain places or other settings. So to set this up, if you go to your settings and then the display and then scroll down to the navigation bar, you have the option to unlock with home button here, and you can turn on and off this setting. You can also set the pressure level of the home button from lighter to stronger based on your preference. And you can also use Bixby to set this up as well. Open settings and turn on unlock with home button.
All set. It's now enabled.
In case of emergencies, you can configure Note 8 to send SOS messages to your loved ones. To do that, go to Settings, Advanced Features, and there you will have the option to configure Send SOS Messages. And you can basically configure who you send your messages to, whether you want to attach pictures of the front and rear camera, and also a short 5-second audio recording. And you can do that by tapping the power button 3 times, and that will activate the SOS so that now it sends all of these based on your settings here. And you can use Bixby to turn on this as well. Open settings and turn on SOS messages.
Got it. SOS messages are on now.
If you happen to use 2 accounts, especially for your WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, you can have dual app settings, so you can use both of those. Go to your settings, advanced features, and scroll down to the bottom where you find the dual messenger, and there you can turn on the dual messenger capabilities for WhatsApp and Messenger. Always on display is a very useful feature you find in Samsung Galaxy phones and the Note 8 phone. So instead of having the always on display turned on all the time, maybe you don't want it when you sleep, you can set that up in your Note 8. So to schedule your always on display, go to your settings, lock screen and security, and tap on the always on display. And here you can configure the always on display to show all the time, or you can set a schedule so you can choose a start and end time for your always on display. In your Note 8 lock screen, you can have face widgets, meaning that there are few widgets that you can enable in your lock screen. For example, if you swipe right where you see the time, you will get the music widget. And if you have a calendar, you also get a calendar widget. Now, the nice thing about this is if you go to the music widget, tap it, and you can actually control the music from here. So this is basically the way how you can bring widgets to your lock screen. So to enable the face widgets, go to your settings, lock screen and security, and there you have the information and face widgets where you can now choose the widgets that you want. So you can have the music controller, you can have next alarm, and you can have today's schedule available there. So now you will actually get 3 where you can go through and swipe between those widgets in your lock screen. Note 8 is all about being productive. And you can do that by having multi-window mode, so you can browse 2 apps at the same time. For example, I'm browsing my Twitter app and I suddenly get the urge to watch YouTube videos while still following the Twitter timeline. So now I can easily switch to multi-window mode by long pressing the recent key, and that'll give me the multi-window mode where I can now select the other app that I want at the bottom. So now I can select the YouTube app and keep browsing the YouTube app while browsing the Twitter app as well. Now see this middle line that I can use to basically resize the window size I want for that particular app. So now I can expand more for YouTube and just have a very limited space for the Twitter app. And there are other options as well. If you tap on the center line, you get the option to make it a pop-up. You also get the option to select a portion of the screen, so that's always there sticky in your display no matter what you do. And you can also easily switch between the apps in those 2 screens as well. Now with Note 8, I can actually create an app pair, so it actually opens both the apps in the multi-window mode as I tap the icon. So to do that, you have to have the Edge panel enabled and the Apps Edge available. And then if you go to the settings and click Edit for the Apps Edge, at the top you have the Create App Pair. Now if you tap on that, that's going to give you the option to select the 2 apps. So I can basically go and select the, for example, let's go select the YouTube. Here's Twitter, and then let me select the YouTube. I can click done, and now that's available in my Edge panel. So as soon as I go and tap on that, now I will be opening both the apps in multi-window mode. If you want to quickly check your notifications when your display is off, there are very few options. Well, in fact, you don't get to see what the notification is about, but with the always on display, you get to see which apps have notifications. Well, with Note 8, you can configure it so such a way that if you actually place your hand here in the sensor, it actually goes and displays the lock screen where now you can actually see your notifications. So here it is again. So my display is off. As soon as I take my hand over to the sensor, the screen display will be turned on now where I can see my lock screen and the messages. To set this up, tap on settings, go to accessibility, go to the dexterity and interaction, and you have the easy screen turn on. Now you can configure it to turn on the display and the lock screen if you just place your hand over the sensor. And you can use Bixby to turn this on as well. Open settings and turn on easy screen turn on.
Okay, it's on.
Notice the dot at the bottom in your navigation bar. You can tap that twice to hide the navigation bar, so you can utilize the full screen real estate without having the navigation bar. Now if you want to bring the navigation bar up, all you have to do is swipe from the bottom, and now you will get the navigation bar. And remember, that will only work in the apps and not on the home screen. So for example, if I go back in my app, you won't find the navigation bar. And if I want to bring the navigation bar up, I swipe from the bottom. And if I do want to keep the navigation bar again, all I have to do is tap on the dot twice again, and that will enable the navigation bar to be there all the time. There are a lot of features in the Galaxy Note 8, and one of them is that your flash sensor, you can use that to monitor your heart rate and stress level as well using the Samsung Health app. So once you install the Samsung Health app, you will find the options to measure your heart rate, stress level. So to measure your heart rate, just tap on the measure and place your finger in the flash sensor, and that will start measuring your heart rate. As we use our phones every day, install and uninstall several apps, our phones might get a little bit slower. And if you want to improve your phone performance, Samsung has a way to do that. If you go to your settings and tap on device maintenance, that will scan your phone for all options with the battery, performance, storage and memory, and will give you options to optimize that automatically. So all you have to do is just tap on the fix now, and that will go and do all of the things it needs to do to make your phone perform faster. Now let's not forget Bixby. Bixby has some cool tips as well. So first thing is you have got a dedicated Bixby button, and if you press it, it opens up Bixby. Sometimes you don't want to do this. You don't want this to open the Bixby button all the time. So you can configure it to not do so by going to this Bixby feed, tap on the settings, and there you have the option to open Bixby Home when you press the Bixby key, or turn it off so it actually doesn't do that. Now when you set that setting, when you press, it doesn't actually open up the Bixby Home, but if you long press, it will open up the Bixby. And if you do the full screen, and there you have the settings where it will take you to the settings of the Bixby. You will also find to set the Bixby voice, background color and other settings here. And one of the things you can set here is the unlock with voice password. So let's look at this. I have locked my phone now. Hi Bixby, unlock my phone.
Tell me your voice password to continue.
The world is not enough.
Okay, here you go.
Excellent. So that was really easy and cool. So you can actually unlock your phone with your voice password. And to set this up, you need to go to the Bixby settings. The easiest way to do this is to long press the Bixby button and then go into the settings by pressing the full screen. And you can tap on the settings button, and here you will find unlock with voice password. Once you enter your PIN, you can then configure the voice password that you want to unlock your phone using Bixby. And yes, you can turn off the Hi Bixby completely. So in the Bixby settings, if you see the voice wake up, and there you will find the option to enable Hi Bixby and other options, the sensitivity and other things you have here. So if you don't want this and you use OK Google, you can use that as well. Or if you want to use the Bixby, you can set the voice wake up to Bixby. One of the cool things you can do with your Note 8 is use Samsung themes to change your home screen and other settings in your phone. So for example, here I have a theme set up. This is called the Martian theme, and I have a custom wallpaper. Everything is now in dark mode. If you go to the settings, you can see that's also in the dark mode. So you have several options with themes to choose your favorite one. To download your themes, all you have to do is long press the home screen, and you'll have wallpapers and themes. That will take you to the Samsung Themes app, and at the bottom tap on themes, and you will find plenty of themes here that you can go through and install. Some are free, some you have to purchase, but some of them are really good and worth your money if you are really into customizing your phone. So I would highly recommend you to go through these. They also come with the icons and always on display so that it matches your theme when you download and configure the theme for your phone. So here is how you can make your Note 8 baby proof or kid proof. So if you do give your phone to your children, then you know that they might just meddle with your phone and remove some unwanted apps, or even sometimes install some apps without your knowledge. So to basically lock that up, there is a way in Note 8 you can do this. So if you go to your settings and go to the accessibility and then go to the dexterity and interaction, you have the interaction control option. So once this is turned on, you basically block touch recognition for certain areas of the screen or the entire screen. So here's a perfect example. I go to my YouTube, I have a lot of videos that my kid watches. So for example, I give her this video of Dave and Ava. So now if you notice, I get all the controls, so she can basically go to the home screen and do everything she wants to do. So instead of that, if I now long press the power key and the volume up key for 2 seconds, that will enable the interaction control mode, where I can now say block the entire screen and have the option set a time limit if I want to have it for the next 20 minutes or 15 minutes. And I can also enable the power key, volume key and the keyboard, so I can basically turn off everything. And now if I click done, I only get the video and you can't actually enable or touch and activate any of the controls. And that's pretty good because now the baby cannot go anywhere except watching this video. And to turn off this, all you have to do is hold down the same sequence, the power key and the volume up key for 2 seconds, and then it will ask for your password. And once you enter your password, it will come out of the interaction mode. I hope you enjoyed those top tips and tricks. Of course, there are many more. You can find the top S Pen tips and tricks and the top Note 8 camera tips and tricks in my channel as well. I will link them in the description below. If you do like my videos and want to see more tips and tricks for all of the latest smartphones, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Until next time, bye.